All right, guys, welcome to the Git Bit Podcast, the podcast for everybody, nerds, blurs, geeks, freaks, to a certain extent. I'm your host, most Will Buchanan, of course, the co-host to my right. Joe, I'm gonna go ahead and ask, what name do you got this week?
Joe Tanella, and my lightsaber can also be confused with the drill that pierces to the heavens.
I see what you did there. Aside from that, guys, we are a part of the Git Bit Podcast. Before we get started, we are a family-friendly podcast, although words do fly. And sometimes we may show things that might be a little intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, real quick, we do got a lot of news, so we're going to go ahead and, fly through it as fast as possible. I did want to start with Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Direct did have a episode. I keep on wanting to say episodes. They had a drop just yesterday, and they did drop quite a bit of news. So we're just gonna go through it, and of course you can go on the Nintendo site at YouTube.com, YouTube to watch it. If we play it, we'll get DMCA'd, and nobody likes to be DMCA'd. But just to give some highlights of it. They did show the next expansion. Let's try this again. The next expansion from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, that'll actually be in the summer of 2022. The final character, as they announced, for Super Smash Ultimate will be revealed on October 5th, live on the Nintendo YouTube channel. They did announce updates for Super Mario Golf and Mario Party. The course for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, their DLC will be released on October 29th, the Age of Remembrance. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Final Fantasy Square Enix game called Chocobo GP, which is basically Mario Kart and Final Fantasy mixed together. That will be released pretty soon. Also, another thing I'm looking forward to is a new Kirby game. Kirby game, which they did announce is coming out. They didn't actually give a release date. They did say sometime in 2022. I'm looking forward to that. Also, they did talk about, I like to call it their big swing Nintendo's doing. For all those that do have the Switch, guys, they do have a membership to where you can play older NES and Super NES games. It's $20 a month, $20 a year. I dig it. But what they have actually decided to do, guys, is actually up the ante, which means that they're actually going to be adding on a new addition to that membership that will include N64 games and Sega games. So for you Sonics, you Star Fox, you Starman, you Vectors, if you're like me, you peeped one title they talked about, which again, I am a Zelda fan. Zelda Ocarina of Time is finally going to be able to be played on the Nintendo Switch. And even more than that, they're actually going to be developing wireless N64 and Sega controllers that can be used with the Switch. Of course, they will be sold separately, about $50 a pop. Another game they're actually talking about, they showed the trailers for, was Bayonetta 3, which again, I'm looking forward to because I've been a Suda 51 fan since his first attempt at Bayonetta, which seems like many moons ago. ActRaiser Renaissance, if you played the first ActRaiser, then you're definitely going to love this one. I'm looking forward to that. The Castlevania Advance Collection is now available on Switch,
and on sale for $5.
Thank you. So you definitely can get that. $5 for the entire collection? Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's on sale right now for I think till the end of the week. Don't quote me on that exact thing.
But still, $5 for 7 games? That's not bad. Metroid Dread, which actually has a release date, which is going to be the first Metroid game for the Switch, will be released October 8th. And of course, Dragon Ball Kakarot. What did you want to mention about that, Joe? I kind of forgot that part.
You will be getting the base game, the first 2 expansions, for one price, and then that's for $59.99, and then for $74.99 you'll be getting all 3 expansions.
Cool. Okay, so Joe's played it. He likes it. It is an RPG feel to it. I kind of skipped it because I kind of got stuck on Dragon Ball Fighters. But not knocking on Kakarot. RPG games are definitely fun to play. Joe loves it, so he's usually a pretty good judge of character when it comes to RPG games. So I can take his word for it on that. Really?
Another thing to add on to the Nintendo 64. Sorry for interrupting.
No, good.
Is Nintendo has also confirmed games upcoming to the expansion. So we will be getting Legend of Zelda's Majora Mask, F-Zero X, Mario Golf, Pokemon Snap, Kirby 64, Paper Mario, and Banjo-Kazooie.
I'm telling you, Nintendo's swinging for the fence. But then again, I keep expecting Sega to come, I keep expecting Sega one day to sit there and say, we're gonna do a console. We're gonna come back. No, we're just gonna sell out. We're just gonna give our library to Nintendo because we're never gonna give it to Microsoft.
So Nintendo's also playing a bit of dirty pool because the 5th is actually something very also Smash related. Because October 5th is not only the final thing of Mr. Sakurai and the final Smash character, it's also the exact same day Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl releases.
Yeah.
With the rollback Nick code. If you've been watching the gameplay videos, they're already talking about frame data, what's competitive, what conversions.
That's gonna be interesting. But
so they're just playing a bit of dirty pool. It's like, there's a competitive Smash clone.
Of course, because you got to be competitive. But either way, Nintendo is really swinging for the fences on this as far as what they're trying to go with. And the thing about it is, it's really good. It's the value. Now, I just hope they don't go too far. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, $20 a year just to play a wide library of Super NES and NES games, I can live with that. I just don't hope they don't go crazy with it just because they're adding on so much more content.
So I think we are going to see a price change. We're probably looking at maybe paying, I don't know.
I could see somewhere between 30 and 40, but 50 would be
30 and 40 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because 30 and 40, I can understand that for what they're offering, but if they go above 50, that's why I'm like, you're kind of going in that area we don't want you to go in.
If they go above 50, I want to start seeing some more mature games. Like, if we're getting Sega stuff, and if I'm paying $50, I want my Eternal Champions.
I want my Ranger X, but I'm like, if there was a Sega game I always wanted to get, Ranger X was one of them, just because I think it was one of the most underrated shooters out there. But that's just me.
Or Garfield Trapped in the Television, a Sega Genesis classic.
I was about to say, no, let's not forget Vector Man. Vector Man was good too. Vector Man was underrated. But anyway, but aside from that, we do have some Doctor Who news. Yes, we do watch Doctor Who here. And a lot of people who are aware of this by now is that Russell T Davies, and I hope I said his name right. If not, I apologize, great sir. Will be coming back to be the showrunner / scriptwriter for Doctor Who. No matter how you feel about Doctor Who, especially with their 13th Doctor and the story writing, some may have felt like it's not really living up to par. So I don't know who at the BBC had managed to get Mr. Davies to come back, but thank you. Because for me, my introduction to Mr. Davies was actually the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, that played him, and that's when I got introduced to Doctor Who, when I was been on the Who train ever since. So I'm loving the fact that he's coming back. I still feel like Jodie Watley and Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith Matt Smith's story as his run at the Doctor, it wasn't bad. I felt like the story could have been better because he's a tremendous actor, but I always felt like his story fell short. I felt like Peter Capaldi could have again great actor, because not only because I think he makes an exceptional Doctor. I just think the story that was written for him was a little
his story got better when he went from mean grandpa to fun grandpa.
Yeah. That's what I think. It's just like for me, it's like the whole Doctor Who thing. It's like, if it's not, look, I want that kind of feeling like when I saw Christopher Eccleston, when I saw David Tennant's stories. Every episode drew me in. But when I saw Matt Smith take Doctor on, like a lot of the episodes were good, but overall the run just it didn't give me that same feeling, if it makes sense. But I know for Capaldi and Watley, I just felt like it could have been done so much better. But that's just me. But we'll look forward to that, to see what he does as he takes on the reins and goes from there. Also, we did want to talk about Star Wars Visions. For the simple fact of the matter, guys, if you have not seen it on Disney Plus, you really should. It is, to put it lightly, Star Wars Visions. The best way I could put this is, whoever at Disney who is over LucasArts needs to honestly go back, because what Disney's vision was allowing different studios to tell different animated shorts in the Star Wars universe, and they have all, except the last episode, been awesome. The last episode to me was a little but every other episode from 1 to 8 has been great. But Joe, I know you want to let them know as far as who was the ones that were invited to do these animated shorts.
So I picked out my 4 favorite ones. The very first one was The Duel. That was the one done in CG. That's actually done by the same studio that does the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure CG.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one where the Ronin Sith Lord, or Ronin Sith, we see it's pretty much just based on Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo. That was written by Takashi Okazaki, who is known for making both Afro Samurai and Batman Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
We got The Twins, which was very clearly Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
Because only a lightsaber can get as big as a Star Destroyer, and if you're made by the people that make Kill la Kill. That was done by Hiromi Wakabayashi. He is also known for doing Hero Man, Inferno Cop, Kill la Kill, stuff like that. The other one I really liked was Ninth Jedi. This was done by Production IG. This also added in a lot of lightsaber lore because we're not really aligned with the Force. You get that really weird translucent green saber.
Yeah. And
we also can see a Dark Jedi or a Gray Jedi, whichever one we want to call them, a Mace Windu style Jedi. They can actually be influenced by a large group of people because we saw the one guy, his saber was red until the end of the battle when all the other dark side users were gone, and then his saber went back to purple, and he's like, sorry, got caught up in the moment.
I mean, they were all, like I said, it was all the episodes except the last one was great. Again, whoever is that Disney / LucasArts, you need to start looking at the way they're telling these stories because, number one, they were great. Number two, I think there's a lot in the Star Wars universe that can go in different directions, and I was not disappointed with the run at all. I kind of hope they give other animation studios another shot at this, in my opinion. Oh, I almost forgot from Nintendo Direct, and thank you for people reminding me about this. Yes, the not Disney movie, the Mario movie, because for some odd reason we need another Super Mario movie. I know Joe in our Facebook group have been sending me the memes on this.
I don't even hate Chris Pratt that much. I mean, I don't enjoy him as a person, but as a movie actor, he's fine.
But yes, we will be remiss to say that yes, during the Nintendo Direct, they did announce that there will be a Super Mario animated movie. Chris Pratt will be voiced by Mario. Peach will be voiced by Anna Taylor-Joy. Luigi will be
Magic in New Mutants. She was the best one in that movie. I am also incredibly biased because she's my favorite Marvel character.
Luigi will be played by Charlie Day. Bowser will be played by Jack Black. Donkey Kong will be played by...
Donkey Kong is just way too on the nose.
But for Seth Rogen?
Yeah, it's like, so, we're doing mushrooms. I'm down to do mushrooms.
I mean, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. But
the thing that catches me off guard in that is the fact that we're actually getting Cranky Kong in this movie.
Yes, which I'm getting to. Toad is going to be played by Keegan-Michael Key. Cranky Kong.
All I can hear is him mispronouncing people from the Aaron skit of Luigi.
You know they got to throw that in somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Cranky Kong, which as Joe mentioned, will be played by Fred Armisen. If you don't know, he was formerly a cast of Saturday Night Live. Comic will be played by Kevin Michael Richardson, and Spike will be played by Sebastian, and forgive me if I mispronounce his last name, Malasico, which I'm hoping I got that right. But all in all, I think it's going to be interesting as far as that. I know the last time we had a Mario movie, whether animated or real live action, let's be honest, it was one of those movies that just... we put it in the Street Fighter Mortal Kombat category. Movies so bad that you just wound up watching them anyway.
See, I guarantee you the premise of this movie is Chris Pratt's character and Charlie Day's character is going to be Jumanji into a Mario Brothers game. Because we have already confirmed that Charles Martinet, the actual voice of Mario, and a ton of other characters in the actual video games will be in the movie.
True. So
my whole idea is the plot is they are going to be Jumanji into the movie, into the game.
I can see that. But I'm not gonna lie, aside from Chris Pratt, which again a lot of people are saying Danny DeVito should have actually done it. I can't argue with you. I can't argue with the reasoning.
That, but that's also incredibly biased because everyone knows if Charlie Day and Danny DeVito have such good chemistry from everything is sunny in Philadelphia.
True, very true. So I mean, I can't argue with it. And I'm like, I want to give Chris Pratt a shot because I've learned from The Dark Knight. Never judge a book by its cover. Because I remember when I sat there and said Heath Ledger being the Joker, I didn't know how that was going to go. I even said I had doubts about it. But after watching the movie, he blew me away. So I've learned, give him a shot. You never know. Also, guys, just a little bit of anime news. If you do watch Seven Deadly Sins, the newest season is available on Netflix. I will watch it sometime this week and give my review of it because it is reaching the end of that series anime, and we are reaching the end of My Hero Academia as far as the season goes before it goes into the current manga arc, which is the war arc. But I will give my reviews of those next week once they wrap up.
My favorite episode had Dr. Doofenshmirtz in it.
Now I got it in my head. Thanks, Joe. I cannot get the jingle out of my head now.
Your track player, the platypus. I have now used my animator.
Doofenshmirtz.
And then he can take over the tri-state area.
I have finally said it. There, I got it in my system. All right, so moving right along before Joe gets another Disney tune stuck in my head. We are going to briefly cover Marvel's What If episode again. As we are talking about, guys, the episodes of Marvel's What If, DC Stargirl, and DC's Titans, we are going to go into detail. If you have not seen these episodes, now would be a good time to mute us. If you haven't muted us, or if you don't simply care, you're going to watch it anyway, you've been warned. But we're going to start off with Marvel's What If episode. What if Thor was an only child? Now, I've been saying this, guys. This was light. This was a really light episode considering that the last couple of Marvel episodes have been really, dark. Let's just call it dark. They're not really dark, but they close. In this case, Thor, of course, Loki was never really raised with Thor. He was actually still with the Frost Giants. So you saw Thor as a... How did you put this comparison of this episode, Joe?
This is an 80s party movie mixed with Dragon Ball Z fighting.
Pretty much. I was gonna say Animal House mixed with Dragon Ball Z just because Thor was the guy that just wanted to party and just couldn't see anything wrong. I know
the best analogy. This is House Party.
Yeah, that's the best analogy. So in this episode we see Thor say what?
Which one's kid and which one's play?
Thor will be kid. Thor will be kid and Loki's play.
I thought Kid was the more responsible one.
No, that Kid is the more responsible one, but Play is the more destructive one.
So Thor would be Play and Loki would be Kid.
Yeah, let's go with that because I can't remember right now. I can't remember right now in my life. But anyway,
this is what happens when we bring up Raptors and cartoon episodes from the 80s.
But in this episode, we see Thor parties and he parties everywhere. It's actually the first time we see Jane. If you have not seen any Thor movies, or really, if you haven't seen anything, or if you read anything related to Thor, this would actually be your first time seeing Jane on a wide scale, especially Darcy, which a lot of people are like Darcy and Howard the Duck.
Now remember, she is Mrs. Darcy the Duck.
Mrs. Darcy, yeah, that is true. They never did get divorced. But yes, this is the first time Jane and Thor actually meet. And of course, it had this whole montage of this Thor just wanting to party, not realizing that his partying does cause worlds to be collapsed.
Yeah, they partied so hard a whole star system was destroyed.
Yes. And it's kind of interesting that, again, with this is actually, they kind of took some elements from the Dark World where you saw Odin enter the Odin sleep, and you see Frigga just like, okay, he's asleep. I'm on vacation. You don't do anything. You don't do anything destructive. I won't, mother. First thing he does, straight to her. So And it's interesting how they did Loki. Loki in the frost giant form. And the fact of the matter is that they still acted the same way as if they were raised together, which I thought was funny and messed up at the same time.
I kind of saw it as less antagonistic because we have heard it's like, oh no, he turned into a snake and bit me once.
Yeah. I mean, they just like, that was good times. It's like, yeah, it was good times.
This time around, they are literally just like super best friends. They're just bros. They're not brothers. They're bros.
They really are. especially at the end where you see Jane. It's like Jane sat there and says, "I'm going to call your mother on the phone to Thor." Yeah. But I love the fact where Jane was like, okay, there's only one person he's got to listen to. And you go find his mother. Only his mother to sit there and to Bifrost call him and say, okay, well, you're going to show me your educational syllabus when you get back. And the whole thing about Thor, my mom is coming, my mom's... That just goes to show you, complete God of Thunder, unbeatable in his prime, scared to death that his mother is showing up.
This is only after getting into a Dragon Ball Z style fight with Captain Marvel.
Yes, which was still interesting. That Captain Marvel sat there and said, well, I guess it's like, oh, you can leave or you can go. You can go or you can leave. And it's just that whole knockdown, drag out fight that they have. And Maria Hill was literally going to drop a nuke on both of them.
I like that Rumsfeld's like, we never get to nuke anything.
That was funny. But I did like the fact that when his mom showed up, even Captain Marvel tried to come in and save him. And he's still wound up fumbling the entire thing. But the weird part, I didn't get the end. Where, is it just me or did Eltron show up at the end?
So it's Vision having collected all the Infinity Stones. So I think this may be, and this is just a terrible pun, but it's not intended to be a pun. We're slowly getting towards the end game of What If, where we're probably going to be getting that background plot.
Yeah.
Like, we know in one universe, we're probably going to be getting Captain Peggy as the Defenders of the Multiverse.
Yeah.
We're going to start from here on out. We're probably going to be building up to that.
What if the Avengers, the alternate Avengers, in
what
a sense?
What if the Avengers defended the multiverse?
I can see that.
It's their own multiversal version of the Avengers.
Yeah, I can see that. But all in all, I like the episode. I dig it. It needed to be a light episode. We couldn't have 3 dark episodes in a row.
It was light and also very adult in some areas. Like, this is the first time, I think it's very obviously implied that Jane and Thor did it in like a single night.
Pretty much.
Cartoon bra on a lamp thing in a Disney cartoon.
I'm tripping off the goat.
That kind of threw me for a loop.
I'm tripping off the goat joke. How'd they get away with that?
You know, the less said about that, the better. It's Disney. Someone's missing a singing goat.
That's all I was like, they got away with that. I was like, are we going back to our cartoons that we grew up with where there was so much innuendo that just flew past the censors?
I do like Darcy geeking out on Captain Marvel's like, oh, Goose, like Maverick. She's like, you're in an 8, and you got a 4.
I like the fact that Howard the Duck's in there saying, now, why are you complaining? We just got married, and you're already complaining. It was good. It was good. But
not now, Howard.
I still laughed that you're right. She still is married. They never said they got divorced, so that's going to be interesting as all get out. But moving right along, though, because DC Stargirl, Summer School Chapter 7, I'm going to go ahead and call this, guys, and me and Joe were briefly talking about this before the podcast started. Yolanda, for all those that don't know, this was kind of a Yolanda episode that it looked like she's being haunted by Brainwave, eventually to the point to where she gives up being Wildcat. And at the same time, you only see Eclipso in the show for 5 minutes. I literally went back and timed it. He's only in the episode, maybe 2 or 3 scenes. He's there for 5 minutes. And I'm just like, that's it? It's like you would think that the whole thing going on with Yolanda is his doing, but no. And I'm gonna tell you guys this like I told Joe. I think that Brainwave is still alive, and yet somehow he's managed to manifest himself in Yolanda's head.
I don't think he's alive. I do think there's like a residual psychic echo feeding off of her guilt.
I can see that too, but I mean, it's almost like, do you remember the Teen Titans episode where Robin was having PTSD from Slade?
Yeah.
I think it's like that. To me,
Although, to be fair, technically Slade was also still dead.
True, but that's why I was like, he still. I mean, that whole episode had Robin messed up to the point to where he thought he was getting his behind kicked by Slade, realizing that it's all in his head. So that kind of made me think when I was watching Stargirl. It's like, oh, he's still alive because he's like, eventually you're going to succumb to me. So it's kind of like I still sit there and say that it feels like to me. It's almost like a takeover of her mind. That if he keeps going with it.
Yeah, like I said, this one was kind of hard to tell if it was actually stress, a psychic echo, or it was Eclipso. I really wasn't sure, and that is good storytelling because you have a hard time telling what it is, then that's good. That's good horror writing because you don't know where the thing is coming from.
Right, but if Eclipso did all that while just sitting there enjoying himself as a 6-year-old kid
with a lollipop,
that is as evil as it gets. But I still thought it was a great episode. I'm looking forward to it because I think we're not too far off from a season finale at this point. I think it's starting to head that way, but I need to go back and check the episode guide on that.
I'm not sure if this is 13 or 12 episodes because this was 8, right?
Yeah, this was 7.
7.
Yeah, this
so we
was
either
7.
got 5 or 6 more episodes in us.
Yeah, so they're going in the home stretch. Supergirl is still trash. Yes, I said it. There's nothing that's going to be able to change my mind about it, especially this most current episode. There's no point in talking about it. I did want to talk about Titans because, again, this was also a good episode. This episode title is called Souls, which I thought was interesting because I called it the purgatory train they were on because it's kind of interesting. This train just leading to nowhere, and it was and Joe pointed this out in our conversation. It was all in black and white grayscale, almost like L.A. Noire type style cinema shooting, which I really did like. And of course, you see Tim and Drake and Donna are all on this. Well, I'm sorry. You see Tim and Donna are on this train, and of course, Tim is like, I'm not ready to die. So it's like, well, you don't really got a choice in the matter. Which I thought was interesting, the whole escape from the train and then getting away from I can't call them Deathly Hollows, but let's be honest. They acted, they attacked like Hollows. I'm just thinking that somebody over at Harry Potter is going to be suing. That's just me. Well, I think they would be suing. I think it's all under the same company, so I think they're cool. Which might explain why they look like Deathly Hollows to me. They did answer my question about Raven. Raven being on Themyscira and that she's training. So we know where she is. At the same...
Yeah, that took me a moment to figure out where that was at first. Because, like, they were all dressed in white. So it's like, so did Raven take Donna's body to Azeroth?
That's what I thought it was. I thought at first. I was like, no, they're actually on Themyscira. So,
and then, like, as they were, then when they says, like, under the judgment of Artemis, it's like, okay, they're on Themyscira.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting where she was trying to use her powers because she thought that she could bring back Donna. And she kind of finally accepts it once the head Amazon kind of puts her through that test. It's like, you're powerful, but you're not that powerful. So it was kind of that whole thing of, okay, I'm going to finally accept what this is and the fact that, I can't bring her back. And the two trippy things about this was I like the fact of how they brought back Hank. How Hank was being brought back. It was honestly, I liked it. It was, I won't say it was redemption because I think that them killing Hank off for him to die at the hands of Red Hood was still a great story. Do not get me wrong. But I do kind of miss him because this episode showed how great of a character he was, and at the same time that he knew of a way back, I guess a way back to the land of the living via a bridge they could find there. And even sacrificing himself for Donna and Tim to go back, and then he reunites with his, I don't want to say, was it his brother or was it his friend? I couldn't tell. Because it was whoever the first dove was.
Don Hall.
Yeah, okay. That was his friend. So,
if I remember correctly, in season 2, that's the best friend who was being we'll just allude to that. Something with the football team and the coach. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. But I mean, the fact that they reunited and they're like, there's other souls out here that can.
Right. That's how they met. Like the same accident that killed him also killed Dawn's mom.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I like the fact that they team back up to where they can team back up and they can do that, which I thought was cool. And the whole idea of, and then the trip part about it was the other part of the episode was Bruce Wayne, where it looked like he was signing something, and I was like, okay, he had his lawyer sign something. And then you see him flex to another scene where he's literally pouring gasoline into this room, lights it on fire as if he's trying to kill himself, and only to be rescued by Donna, which of course he comes and says, "You're dead." And of course he's like, "No, I'm not dead anymore," which kind of sets up for what to expect in the next episode. Now that Donna and Tim are back, will they help with Red Hood? Will Scarecrow still get his plot off? I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in that, but this episode I thought was really, really good. But what did you think of it, Joe?
Finally watching it. Is that the same car from Supernatural?
No, not the same car.
Okay, I'm not a Supernatural person. I don't know what they drive.
No, that was actually a Mustang. That was like a Mustang, not an Impala.
Okay, so that aside, this felt like a Supernatural style episode with Hank. Good comedy, good writing. Tim was fine. I liked that. I loved Donna. I loved Raven stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I said I haven't really caught up with it. I just really watched this episode just so I can say I've seen it. I'll probably keep going forward on it. I enjoyed this, but I liked Donna in season 2. She was probably the better version of Wonder Woman since she's a better woman than Wonder Woman 84. I'll say that much. Even gets her own lasso, so we even get a lasso scene and a sword scene. So I'm not wrong in this.
You didn't like the flight part?
Oh, I don't mind that. I mean, the web slinging for the lightning at least makes sense because it's a pantheon of Zeus, so that makes sense.
I was gonna say, you know what? I was gonna say you didn't like the body snatching.
No, that's wrong, and that's a horrible thing when they could have just made a physical body off the Wish.
Hey, I've been saying it the whole time. You're telling me this. You're telling me the Keystone has enough can create nuclear warheads out of thin air, but when bringing a person back from the dead, there's a power limit problem. But no, I just thought it was funny.
So,
okay.
Anyways, yeah, like I said, this was actually a good episode. I'll probably keep watching more going forward. I like everybody that's still around. It's nice to see what Raven was up to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, to finally see where she's been this entire time, definitely.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are asking about Doom Patrol. I'm gonna be honest.
Quick and dirty, that one. Good stuff happened in it. Cliff got some resolution for Jane, and then for those of us that are Doctor Who fans, Missy shows up, and my new headcanon is this is what Missy was up to. In between regenerations from the previous first iteration of the Master till she became Missy for Doctor Who.
Nice.
Because she even has like this face morph thing where she's like still regenerating.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be honest. I have yet to watch Doom Patrol, and I have to go back from the beginning and watch it and catch up because from what I've heard about it, it's like I should have been watching it, but I'm definitely gonna make it a point to watch it because I definitely want to get caught up.
You'll tilt your head sideways throughout all of it and just go, that is such coarse language for 45 minutes.
Lord. All right. Before we get to this, some AEW news. If you have not seen this week's Dynamite and Rampage, you should. Just because there was a dream match between crap, I can't think of it. Daniel Bryanson and of course Kenny Omega, which again was a great match.
So, is he going by Daniel Bryan or is he going by Bryan Danielson now?
Bryan Danielson.
The American Dragon, Jake Long?
Yep. He's going by that now. But they did have a really, really great match. And Rampage.
I haven't seen the match end in a time limit drawn quite a while.
Yeah, but it was really good. As far as the WWE side, they're right now, NXT.
Go banana.
Say what?
In the words of Ralph Wiggum, go banana.
Pretty much. It's just they're just trying to do so much right now, and I hate this just because Roman Reigns is a great heel as a champion, but the whole thing they're trying to do with Big E, and then the rumor of people walking out during Alexa Bliss's and Charlotte Flair's segment, which take it with a grain of salt if it's true or not. But again, that just goes to show you that Vince has a type and still believes it's the 1980s. But anyway, who knows?
You sure they're walking out because of that, or they're walking out in protest of the Ric Flair thing from Dark Side of the Ring coming to light?
They scrubbed that, and I knew they were going to do that.
I'm waiting for Charlotte Flair to just become Charlotte.
Oh no, she'll still come out as Charlotte Flair, but I wouldn't be surprised if Vince does that. I would not be surprised. If for all those that don't know that we're talking about, there is this show called Vice called Dark Side of the Ring, where they give in-depth stories of a lot of wrestlers and events. This past week was the plane ride from hell, which a lot of people don't know about, but if you go to Vice, or if you have Vice, or however you watch it, I'm not judging, and I'm not going to tell you how, but go back and watch the plane ride from hell. You'll see that there is an inclination that Ric Flair may have assaulted, may or may not have assaulted a flight attendant, and he is being very mum about the situation. Tommy Dreamer gave some rather insensitive comments as far as to the incident, to where it led to his indefinite leave from Impact Wrestling. WWE has scrapped all of Ric Flair's shirts. They've even scrapped his videos. I don't even think he's on the alumni page now. I think they've digitally scrapped everything from the website ever since then. So you can tell there's gonna be a media fallout from this. I wouldn't be surprised if they really investigate this. But Ric Flair has been mute on the situation, if you will, just because he's not in WWE anymore. But now when you have your daughter still in the company, your potential son-in-law is over in AEW, you kind of need to keep your trap shut and probably lawyer up if I was him. But anyway, that's really all the wrestling news that we got. Joe's actually going to have his top 5 comics, sir, so I'm going to leave it to you. What you got?
Okay, it's my turn.
Was it? I can give you some time. I kind of did hike the ball off to you. I can give you some time if you need it.
No, I'm good, actually. So we got 3 Marvel and 2 DC. Leading us off is Moon Knight issue 3 by Jed McKay and art by Alessandro Cappuccio. I'm going to butcher that name. My apologies. The long and short of it, we get the new other Moon Knight, who is known as Hunter's Moon, fighting Moon Knight. Moon Knight's like just naming off all these reasons like why he's there, and the guy keeps going, no, I'm just here because you're doing a bad job for Khonshu. It's like, oh, because of this? No. No. I'm just here because you're doing a crappy job representing Khonshu.
That's bad.
It's like, well, what about the vampires? Like, no, I got to go deal with them because they're creatures of the night and they're invading Khonshu is the night, but they are not his children. They got to go.
Right.
And you're not taking care of that because you're doing a bad job as Khonshu's other fist of Khonshu.
It just keeps going back to it.
Yeah. He's like, well, what about Dr. Holly? Did he send you? He's like, I don't know who Dr. Holly is. You're just doing a bad job. So eventually Hunter's Moon breaks into the mission to go kill the vampires that Moon Knight spared because they are freshly turned vampires. They had never hurt anybody. So Moon Knight does the only thing he can do to stop this. He gets a bat. He just gets a wooden Louisville Slugger and just goes to town on Hunter's Moon, knocks him out, drags him out of the mission. It's like, all right, you're done. You're done for the night. Get out.
I'm sorry. Keep going. That's
literally all there is to the book. It's just like a long fight scene of Moon Knight naming up all these things, and Hunter's Moon goes like, "No, you're just doing a bad job."
It just comes back to the whole thing about conscience. Like, you're not. It's like it's not that. It's not because you're doing this. No, but I'm saying that just makes me look forward to. That just makes me look forward to Moon Knight when it finally comes out. I think it's gonna be interesting. But I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I love the back and forth. Next up, we got X-Men issue 3 by Jerry Dugan is writer, and Pepe Larraza is doing the art. Pretty much, it's just a giant throwdown between the X-Men and the High Evolutionary, because the High Evolutionary is going to be what might be the primary antagonist for the X-Men. We get a really nice full-page spread of the High Evolutionary taking a punch from Rogue, and it is a full Rogue punch.
Dang! So just straight Captain Marvel then.
Oh yeah, and she pretty much says like, the good news is this man can take a Hulk level beating. We don't need to hold back. And then Polaris is just a gem in this book, because she immediately replies and hauls off and gets like metal boxing gloves.
Oh, that's just
and knocks out one of the Rhino men, and just goes like, so when Rogue says hold back, the X-Men throw hands. Damn. So it is just
damn.
Oh no, Polaris is a gem in this. She's got some of the best lines. So they have a giant fight and whatnot. Polaris is still just being her wonderful, wonderful self. It ends pretty easily because Sync figures out what the High Evolutionary wants, gives it to him. High Evolutionary is like, all right, well, you ended this peacefully, so I'll give you like a prize. The one that's sending down these monsters is a mutant space fungus called Cordyceps Jones. They're on Game World. As they're leaving, Polaris is like, we're going to get the last lick in, because, you know, they may have lost physically. So she shouts to one of High Evolutionary's, I guess, daughter. It's like, sweetie, did your old man have to get in your kill switch for your powers? And then Polaris just points and is like, did you see that girl's face? What a bee.
That's just petty.
I know.
That's just petty.
It's just the best thing ever. And then we learn that someone has leaked the resurrection protocols to Phil Urich, because normal people don't know about the resurrection protocols yet.
Okay.
So someone has leaked photos and autopsy documentaries of some of the X-Men's bodies that have been previously found.
Okay.
So we'll find out what that means from there. Jumping over to Guardians of the Galaxies by Al Ewing and art by Juan Figueri. This is the finale of Last Annihilation, and also the finale of the book. Mostly because Al Ewing's moving on to the thing. There's like a whole lot of books. After I get done with the top 5, we have other comic book news to talk about, because a lot shifting over at Marvel. The long and short of this issue is they get the really big gun from Cable, they shoot the really big gun, and everyone goes to an after party. And then Doom somehow screws everybody over in the long run.
Sounds about right.
I believe, yes. The new Queen of the Chitauri is crowned, and in exchange, Doom gets some sort of space magic.
Space what?
Space magic.
Okay, thought I heard something else. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So, and that's pretty much the end of it, and it's like a giant collage of everybody from the 18 issues with Peter, Nova, and Gamora all up in front, and that's the end of the book.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Jumping over to DC, we got Nightwing 84, written by Tom Taylor, artist by Robbie Rodriguez. This is a tie-in to the Fear State. This is Nightwing's part 1 of 3 for Fear State. Nightwing gets a message from what he thinks is Oracle and goes to Gotham. Immediately, nearly gets caught by robot sentries, and he and Batman fight it out. I love that they have to break into an apartment building, and Batman keeps running, but like Dick Grayson goes to the occupants of the window broke. Is like, we will pay for the window. I am so sorry. Batman Kool-Aid Man's his way through apartments. I don't know how he's doing it, but he is. Meanwhile, Nightwing is following after him, just telling each person, I am so sorry, we will pay for this.
That literally, that sounds like it sounds like it comes up costly.
Well, I mean, it's Batman pretty much Kool-Aid Manning through an entire apartment complex.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
It's okay,
my mom went to the Family Guy reference. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
So, after they're safe, Dick says, like, hey, thanks for helping me on the ambush.
Oh, that line. I remember that part.
No, actually, Bruce even says, like, I know you could have handled it on your own. It's like, Dick's like, yeah, I still appreciate it. It's like, Bruce goes, like, I watched my parents die in an alley. I'm not going to let that happen to my son.
Dang.
Which catches Dick really off guard.
I mean, he is the heir to the throne, so it's not like we're surprised by that. But still, the line of it and the timing was perfect. I give it that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Dick actually meets up with Barbara. It's like, so what did you need? She's like, you called me here. Barbara's like, no. It's like, are you okay? It's like, well, I mean, I showed up and Bruce showed up and made sure there was a lot less certain death. Then Barbara gets up from her chair. It's like, well, that's it. I can't do any more from here. Dick's like, well, what are you doing? And why are we're going to be communicating with old-fashioned radios? Clearly it's compromised. Barbara's like, no radios. I'm coming with you. And it's like, but what are you doing? And then Barbara steps out in her new Batwoman costume.
Nice.
So Barbara is back in the battle for Batwoman. So I believe the premise for the 3 issues of Nightwing for Fear State is Barbara and Nightwing are going to be looking for the false Oracle.
Okay. So what DC comic you got?
Flash.
Oh, Jared's gonna miss
this. This is actually a super cute issue too.
Okay.
So Dr. Nightmare is back. I don't know if he's a new villain or an old villain. I don't remember reading him. This is written by Jeremy Adams and art by Christian Deuce. Great art. It is a daddy-daughter dance at Giant Irie's school. Irie looks cute. Wally is super taken back, like getting ready to cry. And then, I guess a sleep bomb has been detonated by Dr. Nightmare.
Yeah.
Even in the school, and because they're in, I guess, the Nightmare realm right now, their powers to the Speed Force are cut off by the gas, because their body is still metabolizing the gas, so they're not knocked out, but they can't access the Speed Force.
That's interesting. Okay.
I don't know. I don't make the rules for the Speed Force.
I always thought they had an internal connection, but okay.
Yeah. So it's even brought up in here where like Wally has to explain why the powers aren't working to Irie. So they steal Dr. Nightmare's dream helmet because he's making people's nightmares into physical things.
Yeah.
So they run and hide, and Irie puts on the helmet and makes Wally sing her a lullaby so she can go to sleep faster, which is adorable.
That's petty, but
so,
wow.
Wally, Irie, a gummy dachshund, a panda with the mirror for a stomach, a robot lion, a 2-headed lab, and the girl from the Aliens vs. Predator Super Nintendo beat 'em up.
Wow, it's been that long. It took me a while to visualize that. Go ahead.
He even has a smart gun too, which is funny.
Oh man.
So their daddy-daughter dance is ruined, but they get their powers back, so they immediately go and run over to Paris and have a nice little dance in front of the Eiffel Tower. Meanwhile, that javelin that's been going through space has finally touched down in Central City.
Not to be
And
confused.
the next issue it just says The Flash versus a lot of bad guys.
Not to be confused with Javelin from Suicide Squad. But anyway. But
It was also Comfortable Doug.
But what other comic book news? What other comic book news do you have, Joe? Before we wrap it up.
So we actually have a lot of shuffling around in Marvel right now. A lot of books are being canceled, like a lot, and that is because Zeb Wells is moving over to Spider-Man titles. So Hellions is ending. Marauders is possibly may either be reshuffled into a different title, but looks like Marauders might be ending in December.
Mm-hmm.
The reason Guardian of the Galaxy is ending is because Al Ewing is being shifted over to Hulk. Donny Cates is taking over something in space. He may be the new writer for Guardians of the Galaxy. And Champions is also ending soon because Zeb Wells is being moved off of his books to focus solely on Spider-Man because he's the new architect for Spider-Man.
Okay.
So, we get a lot of books ending in Marvel and a lot of books starting because Amazing Spider-Man is a 3-title-a-month book.
Interesting.
Because it's written by, and I know this has been used as a thing, but a spider pool where it's 3 different writers and 3 different artists.
Well, I guess I wouldn't be surprised considering that there's going to be there's going to be an all-hands push because of No Way Home this Christmas, so I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah, the odd thing about No Way Home is it's not really talking about it because it's all Ben Reilly stuff.
Yeah, but they're going to ride the coattails anyway, so that does make sense. But before we actually call it, guys, I'm sorry. Was that all? I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off. Was that all again?
We also say that Sony has announced there will be a Spider-Man Venom crossover movie, and there will be a Sinister Six spinoff movie.
Called it.
I am okay with the first one, but I do not understand what their obsession with making a Sinister Six movie is.
Because it's gonna be beautiful. The only person you're missing is Scorpion. You don't have a Scorpion yet.
But there's no primary antagonist that they need to put the Sinister Six against.
Well,
this isn't the Suicide Squad where you throw them at goofy stuff, Sorrow and whatnot.
But what if it's? Wait. What if it's the villain? What if it's the villain movie we've always wanted? It could be. I'm just saying. I don't think we're gonna get Suicide Squad with the Sinister Six. I think we're gonna get exactly what we wanted from them because we already see that the elements are being put in place. Now, depending on how this Far From Home does and what Sony does with Venom, which again, Venom comes out next week, October 1st. I look forward to watching it. I'm gonna be curious to see what they go with that because for all those that don't know, a buddy of mine, I can't name him here because again, he's affiliated with a publication and I don't have permission to say where he works. But he has told me that definitely the end of Venom: Let There Be Carnage is definitely going to raise some eyebrows. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm sorry, Joe. What other comic book news, Jeff?
That's pretty much it right now. Not too much is going on at DC for a change. Usually we get something from DC whenever something Marvel happens.
I'm trying to hold back on jokes.
Huh?
I had a joke lined up, but it's not appropriate. But anyway, I did want to allow some con news for all those who are going to be in the Nashville, Tennessee area that there is going to be a Nashville con tomorrow. I forgot the location already. I really should have been better prepared for that. But I'm actually going to, but me and a friend of mine are going to be able to go. Joe, will you also be going or did you have plans tomorrow?
I have plans tomorrow and I wasn't going to be going anyways. I still do not feel comfortable going downtown given Tennessee's current condition.
Understandable. Well, for me, it's going to be quick in and out, but I'm definitely going to be masked up. So, but with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for our podcast. But Joe, I know that you have been doing gaming because I went back on Twitch and I watched your streams. I keep on trying to catch you when you're playing. I know that you have been playing, I can't call it that. I have to call it Tales of Arise. But where Joe
the new Adventures of Shield Mom and Pals?
Can you please tell them the Twitch
Look,
channel?
I made that joke as a joke just because she's the oldest in the Shield, and I kid you not.
I thought you were going to say Shield. What was it? Shield
literally
woman?
say she's like a mom.
I think you were going to say Sword Woman and Gun Boy or something like that.
Oh no, I've moved beyond them. Now I'm on to Kisara, the Shield lady.
Uh-huh.
So now it's the New Adventures of Shield Mom and Pals.
Where can they find your Twitch channel, sir, so they can see you? So they can see you stream.
And honestly, like I said, it is not my fault. I made it as a joke. The game itself even runs into it by saying, "Oh my God, she is the mom of the group, isn't she?" And then they point, it's like, "Well, what does that make Dolaheen?" It's like the weird eccentric uncle.
Oh, good.
Which I have renamed everybody. So we have Ancient Egypt, Shield Mom, Gun Princess, Sword Guy, the chatty one, and the punchy one.
I am not surprised by that.
Oh, and Hoodle.
Not surprised by that at all. But where's
its actual name?
Where's the Twitch channel, sir?
It's now under Joe Italian last name. I actually did change it and rebranded it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually done some good. I have 2 viewers now most of the time.
Told you. That Joe Italian last name will catch on. But what's your other socials they can find you on, Joe?
Nashville Green Lantern and National Scarlet Spider on Instagram, and it'll still say Joe Italian last name on Twitch, but it's Joe Tenlo for Twitch.
I'm just gonna be stuck in my head now. Shield Mom and her pals. Thanks, Joe, for putting so many things in my head, because I know you make it a point every podcast to get me to crack up laughing during the end, and I'm trying to hold strong onto this. But before I do get out of here, aside from that, there's other people we want to support as well. We do want to give a shout out to Aryan Geek Salad for allowing us to share our podcast onto their pages. Definitely check them out. Aryan Geek present Geek Salad on YouTube and Facebook. Also, my other brother from a different mother, Vaughn, Big BZA Dot. Check him out, Ace Vaughn on Facebook, Ace Vaughn Westwood on Facebook, Big BZA Dot on socials, as he does have his Smoking Trailer Sundays from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Of course, the REF podcast, also every Tuesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. as well. As for yours truly, the link at the bottom in red, you copy and paste that into your browser, will take you to my link tree that has the Facebook and YouTube groups for all of my podcasts, Get Bit, Off Limits, and How the Fact We Got Here. My IG handle in the far left corner over there, BlackBox447, is where you can find me at and follow me. And like I said, if you are brave enough to be out and about this weekend, again, guys, please mask up. Please be vaccinated if you haven't already been vaccinated. Do all things to protect yourselves and protect others, because it's not just about you. And of course, if you do come to the Nashville Con this weekend from 10 a.m. to 6 at the Holiday Inn, I want to say it's the Holiday Inn downtown, but I may need to double check that. If you are, because me and my buddy Thomas will be there. If you see me, say hi. I just can't shake hands. Please understand why. We can do the Klingon salute. The Klingon salute doesn't require shaking hands. It just requires you to have a strong chest. If you know the Klingon salute, you know what I mean. But definitely say hi. I would love to definitely meet people as well as that, because I do miss going to cons. This is going to be my first con that I haven't been to in a very long time. Aside from that, guys, like I said, thank you all who liked, who watched, who let people know we were live. I certainly appreciate it. The comment section is working as far as Facebook. I know YouTube is still having issues. Still waiting for help with that. But beyond that, if you're watching this in the playback, please comment if it's live. We still want to know you guys' opinion on everything that we talked about. And aside from that, just let you know if we go from there, as we try to come here every Friday, 8:30 live on Facebook and on YouTube. So, with that being said, Joe, any last words for your call tonight?
Kapla.
Kapla indeed. I've been Will. That's been Joe. This has been the Git Bit Podcast tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. We certainly appreciate it. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this. Peace.
Later.